And well, that's the thing is we don't know with these replicas too. There's a ton of them. You look at like ILGM and a million other brands that are out there now. They'll have a White Widow, they'll have a Pineapple Express, they'll have a Trainwreck, a Chem Dog. They're not the originals. They're literally just replicas. So unless you know the original flavor, which at one point was a clone only because people didn't have seeds available, then you don't really know if this is the tried and true one. And that's the problem I feel like when you're ordering these new ones is we just don't know if it's legit. You know, I've had maybe 10 different versions of White Widow, and I don't think any of them were White Widow. The OGs that I've smoked with were like, no, this, like they laughed at it. They're like, this is not fucking White Widow. Just like I would if somebody brought me, a cultivar I've been smoking a ton for years. I'd be like, ain't no headbanger. Quit playing. But again, phenotypes play a big variety, but it's how I look at it too is we haven't had the same experience in terms of what they've had way back in the day. So we may think something's better or worse based on our palate or what we're used to, but the classic stuff that's been out there for a long time is what a lot of our new cultivars are built from. And a big reason like you know, runts or these others are popular is because the original parents, the parents, the grandparents. But then like Todd McCormick over on a podcast we were on at one point was talking about how a lot of these cultivars have been bred out literally just because breeders don't want to have these 12-week cultivars because they can't do it outside for the climate or for the environment. They're changing it for commercial grow more than the quality terpenes because they can't grow it, you know? So at this point, we've got a fight between the quality, which now we can do at home inside and however we want, versus the mass production. So stuff's coming back. There is, Todd's company is bringing back some of these originals, but it's hard to find companies that have a quantity of the quality. You know what I'm saying? They'll sell out quick and it's gone.
100%. The Todd McCormicks in the world are far and few between. The idea that, again, if I'm not mistaken, regular seed banks would not take, I don't know if it's changed, cannabis seeds, So these genetics, a lot of these genetics, if not maintained, and how could they, have been lost, and not necessarily lost, but diluted through time. And it's, when you breed them with others to bring to maintain, and you're losing some of that integrity of the grandparents. And that's where it's like I don't believe, I'm gonna say it's over 50% of when something's labeled as one thing, and they say that's what I'm getting. I just simply don't believe it. I've had so many instances where I've had the ability to compare something with something else, and sure, phenotypes are important, but you should still, like, as an iconic strain, it has fundamentals. There's just certain variables, there's certain cannabinoids, there's certain experiences and expressions that have to be there. And if they're not there, then it's like, well, wait a second. What is this? And so it's like, I just feel like companies have just taken seeds and run with it. And, countless times you've got these these Instagram breeders that are literally just resealing seeds and selling them as their own. So now you're getting possibly a White Widow, possibly a Girl Scout cookies, possibly a cough, but it's relabeled as something else and then sold as something else. So it's gone. Those traits are still there, but they're gone. It's gone through. There's no more, physical evidence of what's left there. Now, is it possible to get an actual reading of the genetics and have it something for it to be compared to?
That's the tough side of things, and this is again where the Todds of the world, Todd McCormick's who know some of these OGs who've been growing for so long and have the original, and they can say, "Oh no, yeah, I'm still growing this." And he literally has gone back and found like Northern Lights #5 and Skunk One from the original people because he still knows these guys. They're in his
Mm-hmm.
Rolodex.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a lot of situations where these are going to come back more. I think he literally said he wants to bring them back for breeding purposes, not so everybody just grows that alone, but so someone could take that and start something fresh with the brand, with the original stuff instead of this muddied down, diluted version that we're dealing with now with unstable genetics. So if we've got more of these people who will do that, that'll create that trickle down, so to speak. And I think it's going to really change the game in terms of quality genetics. Because if more and more people have original stable genetics to start with, it should stick closer to that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being 20, 30 years out, we've been breeding and breeding and breeding and losing the original characteristics of these cultivars. We're going to be able to find these and really isolate these with the science we know nowadays versus what was back in the day, which is some guys just kind of shaking their male plant near the female and making it work, you know? This FTS clip was brought to you by AC Infinity, leaders in garden innovation. Use discount code TheStash15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast.